Hey there friends, Foster the Canadian here, and welcome back to Fridays with Foster. I just spent the last 30 minutes chasing a fly around my apartment, so I'm a little bit out of breath, but I'm gonna keep going. So, this is a weekly series in which you guys send me stories, ask me advice, I give you my take on them, I share stories of my own, and we have fun. Now, about the gameplay, not a whole lot to say here, except for I got pretty lucky and I had good teammates backing me up. So, I hope you guys enjoy, and on to story number 1. Wouldn't it be great if I instead started with story... You know what? On to story number 2! That would be great! Here we go. Alright, I'd like to call this next one Proposed Paranormal Problems. Hey Foster, great shows so far. Anyways, the story I have for you, and hopefully many others in the future, involves some supernatural stuff. About 5 to 7 years ago, I lived in an older house where I slept in a smaller twin-sized bed, and I woke up one night about 1 or 3 a.m. I got up originally to use the bathroom right across the hallway, however I woke up dazed and confused and really having to pee. I saw a 5 to 6 foot, 1.5 meter to 1.8 meter tall silhouette figure standing like a Spartan in my doorway. Of course, scared like a child, I pulled the covers over my face and tried to go back to sleep thinking it was a dream of some sort. Once again, I awoke, and this time I was in front of my bed, upside down off my bed, still dazed, tired, and confused. I tried to get up, but too tired I fell asleep for another 3 hours or so, and when I awoke for the final time, I'd asked my mom if she came to check on me the other night, and her answer was no. Alright, now, one reason that I picked this is the first supernatural, ghost story type thing that I've gotten, and I actually thought I'd get a few more of these. And I've never experienced anything weird like that. I've had a very straightforward type of life where I've never experienced any paranormal things, I've never experienced any extraterrestrial things, and it seems like everyone I know has a story. And I kind of feel left out that I don't have one. And I think that maybe made me a little more skeptical than I otherwise would have been. I guess obviously more skeptical than I otherwise would have been. But either way, thank you for sending in the story, and hopefully we do get more like it.
Peanut butter jelly time.
Alright friends, I wasn't really sure how to answer this one, so I brought in Two Shot from Two Shots Gaming, and here's the story. Friendzoned by a bisexual. Dear Foster, there's this girl I really like, and I think she might be bisexual. Plus, she's atheist and my parents are adamant that I'm going to marry a Catholic girl and be Catholic, but I don't think I am. And on top of that, I think I have been friend-zoned by her. We're good friends, and we both think each other totally insane. She's totally awesome, but I don't know what to do. Please put this on Fridays with Foster and keep up the good work. Sorry for spelling errors. Fup the what llama. Okay, now politics and religion aside, and right off the bat, we're going to assume that this is an 18-year-old senior from high school or beyond high school, just to make things safer for us. Alright, Two Shot, what do you think about this situation?
It's very interesting. It's kind of hard. You're saying that she's a bisexual adult, right?
Yeah.
That's where we're going with this? That's how we're going to talk about it,
Yes.
So
over the age of majority.
Yeah. So right there, it's a little bit, it's interesting, because, you don't know where she's at with with the whole thing with him. And it kind of depends on how they spend their time, what they do together.
That's a really good point. You can probably tell if she's into you, if you're spending a lot of time together without other people around, or if she's a little flirtatious with you, if she laughs at your jokes even if they're not that funny. And you can kind of pick up on how a girl feels just by really observing what happens when you do hang out together. So that part aside, there's the whole... your parents might have an issue with you starting a relationship with her. Two Shot, what should he do about that?
Yeah, the whole thing, I think, is that even though we kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, and the more I thought about it, I think you're right. Is that you should be mature about it and go to your parents to talk to them, because as I thought about it, and I'm like, what would he do? I'm like, wait a second, I'm a parent, what do my kids do to me? I wouldn't want them to go behind my back and just do whatever.
Yeah.
You want to be honest with your family. That's the only way it's going to work. Because you keep your family, you make it like a problem, it's going to get worse for both of you.
Yeah, and I actually did ask some of my female friends about this because I wanted to get a female's perspective. And they were basically saying, screw the parents, just go ahead and ask her. And I don't necessarily agree with that, and it might just be I have an enormous amount of respect for my mom. You know, a single mom raising me couldn't have been easy. And if she did not like someone that I was going out with, that would definitely affect my opinion of that relationship. And it would make me rethink it a bit, because I want to have that parental approval. And
Yeah, I agree with you.
it's all about respect, in my opinion. And I'm not sure how your relationship is with your parents, but I think that you should definitely approach them in a very mature, very thought-out manner and say, look, there's this girl I like. We may have different beliefs, but I'd hope that you'd support me in a relationship. And once again, this is all after you find out for sure if she is into you. Because that's, you know, number one. You don't have to go to your parents if she's not even into you. And as far as that goes, you should just come out and ask her. You know, trying to put it in a really simple way, and again, observe to see if she likes you, because there are ways to tell. Alright, so thank you for sending the story, and Two Shot, thank you for helping me out with this one.
You're welcome.
Alright, you guys can check out Two Shot's channel, link in the description, and I'll probably put an annotation up. Two Shots Gaming. He's a smaller YouTuber, and he could really use your support.
Yes, thank you, guys.
Alright, next story. Alright, I'd like to call this next one Trip Through Terror Town. That might be a little overdramatic for the story, but you be the judge of that. And yeah, it probably is. Hey Foster, just trying to tell you a story that I've actually experienced a few weeks ago, so here it is. I was happy I finally got to join a band I really liked, and we were really going for the goal of making music and money. But it was already late and my last train home was gone, so I called my mom. She told me that there was one last bus going towards my house, but it was leaving in 5 minutes. Luckily, the bus stop wasn't too far away, just 2 minutes or so. And as I walked out to the train, a police officer stood in front of me saying, "Hey, you there! Stop!" I responded with, "What's the problem, officer?" He said, "We're looking for someone with a black jacket, calling on a smartphone with a black backpack on his back, and you appear to have all of those things." And I really appeared to have it all. Luckily, I wasn't the one they were looking for. And anyways, I stood there for a good 4 minutes and ran to the bus. I saw it driving away already. So I took the train that was going closest to my house and took a walk from there. Luckily, I only had to walk past a hospital and a park, and my house wasn't that far away. So I walked without seeing anyone, but some cars driving towards the hospital. Then I walked through the park. It was suspiciously silent, because a lot of traffic usually did take a shortcut there, but no sign of any car at all. Suddenly, I heard a squeak, not a human squeak, but more like a pig being slaughtered and screaming a last scream. I thought it was someone joking on me, but then I heard it again. It was luckily not close by or getting any closer, but I was really scared, so I started running home. Unfortunately, my condition isn't that good, so I sprinted for a good 300 meters or so. As I walked out the park, I heard one more scream, this time a little closer, while the first 2 times the sound was behind me, meaning whatever it was should have come closer. I never got to find out what happened. Nothing showed in the papers either, and I guess I'll never find out, and this is something that really happened. So, there's my story. The end. Alright, well, this story actually does, shockingly enough, remind me of a story of my own. Now, you guys may know I do like to take walks, and I tend to get lost quite a bit. And I was taking this walk through Hastings Street, which is a major street in Vancouver. I didn't know that it was a bad neighborhood, until I heard a woman screaming that she's being hurt. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, there's a woman who's being attacked. I can either run or I can go to help, and I stupidly thought that I could do something to help this woman. So I turn around the corner, I'm ready to jump into action. I see a cop holding a woman against the wall, pulling tons of drugs out of her purse. And this is not like, you know, a dainty old lass. This is like a really drugged out, crazy haired lady who is like screaming nonsense, and her boyfriend walks up, he goes, "Oh crap." Well, he didn't use that word, he used a much more vulgar word. And he sprints, officer grabs him, pulls him against the wall, and he starts going, "Is there anything in your pockets I should know about?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, I got a kind of meth problem." And I'm standing there going, I don't know why I'm here. I shouldn't be here. I need to go home. I don't even have a beaver buzz. I very, very quickly sprinted back home. I didn't sprint, you know. I very quickly walked back home. I wanted to sprint, but I thought that would be, suspicious that I started sprinting once I turned the corner to see a cop. I get back home, and I kind of forget about it, but it's just one of those things that I never expected to see, and it was a little freaky. So, thanks for sending the story, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed my own little story. I thought I'd end this episode off on a joke that one of you guys sent in. There are 3 Mexican men that come to the United States, and they don't know any English. First Mexican man is watching Dora the Explorer on TV, so he learned how to say, "We did it, we did it." The second Mexican man was watching the cooking channel, so he learned how to say, "Forks and knives." The third Mexican man was watching the electric channel, so he learned how to say, "Well, plug it in, you stupids." So they take a walk in the park, and they see a dead guy on the ground, and a cop walked up and asked if they had any idea who did it. First Mexican man said, "We did it, we did it." Cop asked, "What did he kill him with?" Second Mexican man said, "Forks and knives." So the cop said, "I'm bringing you to the electric chair." So they went to the electric chair, and they placed him in the electric chair, but it's not working. And the third Mexican guy says, "Well, plug it in, you stupids." Now, first off, what? No fair trial? Second off, you may be thinking to yourself, well, this joke is racist. Why would Foster tell such a joke? Well, let me ask you something right now. If this was a French dude coming to the United States and doing all this stuff, would it be racist? Yeah, I think you have something to think about. So this was a weird way to end the episode. Hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode of Fridays with Foster. I thought I'd try something new with bringing on a guest, and let me know how you guys felt about that. If you'd like to see more guests, maybe multiple guests at a time, or if you'd like to see certain people on the show. I didn't really know how to answer the question, and I felt like Two Shot would have some insight that maybe I wouldn't, and I'm really glad he came on to help me, so thank you, Two Shot. Link in the description to see his channel. And if you guys enjoyed this episode, I'd really appreciate a like, and if you want to see last week's episode, you can click the annotation on the screen right now to go check it out. Until next time, this is Foster the Canadian, turning into William Shatner, saying, see ya.